Hey y'all, welcome back to The Roads Less Traveled. On today's episode, we're going to be reviewing this solar power trail camera from iZeeker. Alright y'all, so iZeeker sent me this trail camera. That being said, like always, it's going to be a thorough and honest review. So guys, this is iZeeker's, this is the iG420 trail camera. And as you can see on the box there, it is solar powered. I've really become fond of the solar power trail cameras just because you can do away with those stinking AA batteries. The things are getting expensive and they're a pain to have to change. Depending on how many batteries your camera takes, you may have to venture out there to change batteries every couple weeks sometimes if you're getting a lot of pictures and the conditions are poor. With these solar powered cameras, the built-in battery, they can pretty much run indefinitely in the field. So let's just kind of go over some of the specs on the box here. It has a packing list, and basically what's included in this box according to this is the trail camera, USB cable, tree strap, and a user manual. It also says it has a 2-year warranty, so keep that in mind. So here on the side of the box, you can see it's solar powered. It says it has a high sensitivity sensor. It's easy to install and it's waterproof. That's pretty much it on the outside. Let's go ahead and jump into the box and see what's in here. Oops. Right off the bat, inside the door, looks like there's some information about the camera. Let's just kind of look at that. Looks like they have 24 hours, 7 days a week online support service. It's just some information on there on how to return or start a support ticket. There's some tips here. It says to charge the built-in battery while the camera's in off mode. It says use 4 high-quality AA batteries as a backup. Use a class 10 or higher SD card. Insert the SD card when the camera's turned off. Format the SD card in the camera. Do not set the picture interval too short because it'll use up your battery if it's almost constantly acquiring pictures. Remove the protective films. I mean, that's all common sense stuff, guys. This piece just slides out, and then what you see there, the camera's just sitting in the box. Let's go ahead and get to the accessories that are in the box here. So we have a pretty generic tree strap. It'll get the job done. I usually, especially if I'm using these cameras on public land, I replace these big wide webbing straps with a piece of paracord. It works just as well for holding the camera up, but it's a much smaller profile. I found that people are a lot less likely to see the camera if you're not using one of these wide straps. And a charging cable. I do recommend fully charging this camera at your home before you get it out in the field. For today's demo, since I'm already out here, I'm going to actually just put some AA batteries in here for the backup, and then we're just going to throw this thing out and use it. I don't know how much battery power is in the built-in battery right out of the box. We'll look at that. But the solar panel should charge that battery, and then if it's needed, then it'll run off the backup batteries. Here's the camera. Just want to take and look at what else is in here. There's a user manual. Pretty handy. And one more piece of paper in here. It's a safety and warning information. You can read that if you so choose. Alright guys, now let's take a look at our camera. Here it is out of the box. I do like that iZeeker's solar panels are built in. Now I know that's not optimal sometimes for being able to place the solar panels where it's going to get the most direct sunlight. But honestly, the cameras with the separate solar panel are really a pain. I mean, it's okay if you're setting it up in a permanent location on private land where you can permanently mount the thing. If you're using these on public land and you just want to be able to throw it on a tree, having to also mount the solar panel is really a pain in the butt. And it creates a larger profile, which means it's easier to be seen by a would-be thief or someone who might potentially mess with your camera. So I do like the built-in part, even though it's not always going to be in the optimal position for charging the battery. It does kind of built on a hinge, so it does pivot just a little bit. So you can kind of angle it towards the sun in one direction only. So that helps. It has some protective film on the outside here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off. It looks like you actually have to open the camera up to get the other protective film off the sensor deal there. Okay. We got the camera open here. And the first thing, I flip it around, is it does have a little bit of information here, and you can read that, and it has a QR code that you can scan it if you need support. It makes it real easy to have access to those needed resources if you need them. So as far as the camera itself, it's got a nice LCD screen. That's always helpful for setting the camera up. The battery tray is here on the bottom, and you actually open that from the outside, and it just kind of folds down. It takes 4 AA batteries for backup. I'm going to go ahead and throw my backup AA batteries in the camera, and then I'm going to come around there and we'll turn it on and we'll go through the setup process. Alright y'all, so here's our camera. We're about to power it on for the first time. You heard that noise there. We'll see if we can disable that. So the first thing, we got to check our change our language. I need English, and set our date. Today is January 9th, 2025. Well, there's some beep in there. That's already annoying. We're going to have to figure out how to disable that. Not 2025, and it is like 12:15. Looks like it's in military time. It's actually 12:16. Okay. Then it pops up and says format memory card. I did not actually check and see if this camera came with a memory card, but it must have. Alright, we're up and running. And just as a quick visual check, there is actually a memory card in there. That's great. I appreciate that, iZeeker. Matter of fact, let's turn it back off. I want to take a look at that memory card. It's a 32 gig, 80 megabytes per second, class 10 SD card. Sweet. I always like it when cameras come with SD cards. One less thing you got to worry about. Let's power it back on. So it kept our settings that we programmed in just a second ago. You can actually see the camera showing you a preview now. So you see me kind of standing back here behind the camcorder. Looking at our batteries powered down there in the bottom left. Looks like our backup batteries are not working. I must have put those in the wrong direction. Let me check on that real quick. So I flipped my batteries around so they look like that. I put the, there's actually a plus and minus symbol to show you which side of the battery should face out. So let's close that and see if that fixes our issue. Okay, let's power it back on. There we go. Now we have battery strength. So the bottom left there shows you your built-in battery power, and then the one just to the right, that shows you your backup batteries. Then we also have our date, time, and at the top you can see the different settings the camera's currently set on. Let's go into our menu. Let's see, our monitor delay, 30 seconds is fine. Mode, let's do photo plus video for this test. Photo resolution, as always, highest possible, which is 48. Now keep in mind, on the highest possible setting, you're going to use a lot more power. We'll leave it on one photo, since we're also going to be acquiring video. Now, one of the great things about this camera is it is actually capable of acquiring in 4K. Alright, now that is going to use a ton of storage space on your SD card, and I don't necessarily recommend that unless you really want super high quality videos. For this review, we want it to be as high quality as possible, so we're going to select 4K. And scroll down, video length. We're going to keep them at 10 seconds. Any more than that, and we're going to start clogging that SD card up pretty quick. Cycle storage, that's where it would overwrite the SD card when it fills up. We're going to leave that there. PIR interval, we'll leave it at 30 seconds. Sensitivity, normal. IR brightness, normal's fine. Target recording time, that's if you only wanted it to record during the day, for instance, or at nighttime, or during certain hours. Time lapse is off, but it's cool, you can do that if you wanted to overlook a field or something. We've already set our language. Date format, we're going to leave that the same. We've already set our time and date. Seal number, our temp is set in Fahrenheit. Beep sound off. Thank you. Audio recording is on. Well, on. Stamp. Time, date, and logo. That's fine with me. You can put password protection on this if you're using it, you know, or somewhere you think it might be stolen. Format the SD card. We'll do that. I think we did it when we started up, but it's never a bad idea to format when you have the chance. We're not going to reset the settings. We can access customer service by scanning the QR code. That is cool. I actually have that built into the camera. System information, I guess. And then we're back to the beginning. Alright, y'all. We got our camera set up and ready to use. I'm going to get the strap on it. And we're going to go out to our test tree. I'm going to grab a little bit of corn to throw out there. We're going to set this thing up, see if we can get any pictures. We got our camera set up the way I like it. The little preview screen makes it really easy to make sure you have it aimed perfectly. I'm going to get some corn thrown out here, and then we're going to leave this camera for a week or two. We'll come back, check the SD card, and see what we've got on it. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting card pull. We're actually expecting some pretty significant winter weather moving in here in probably the next hour or two. Some of the projections I've seen has us predicted to get anywhere from 6 to 10 or 11 inches of snow over the next 24 hours. All right, y'all, so our camera here has been out for right at a week, maybe a week and a day or two. Came out here to check on it, and the SD card is full. So we got pictures and videos on this camera. Like I mentioned previously, you know, recording at 4K on video and then 48 megapixel images. I was anticipating it taking up a lot of storage space, but I'm really anxious to see how high quality, especially the 4K videos are. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing, take the SD card inside, and see what we got on it. I'll throw up some sample photos and videos here in just a second, and then come back with some final thoughts. You've seen pictures, videos, you've seen the setup. You've seen just about everything. What do y'all think? I think it's a pretty good camera. The quality of the pictures and videos are pretty impressive to me. I really like the fact that it has a solar panel and a built-in battery, so I don't have to worry about dealing with AA batteries and all that stuff. I don't have to worry about the battery going dead while it's out there in the field. I've just become very fond of solar trail cameras, especially the ones with the built-in solar panel. It just makes it so much easier. Just throw that thing on the tree and forget about it. I'm sorry, y'all, it's windy out here. If hopefully you can hear me all right. But the one thing to just be aware of, and it's not a con, it's just the nature of the beast. When you're going to use 4K video, 48 megapixel photo, it's going to take up a lot of space on your SD card. This camera was out for 1 week and it used up the entire amount of storage on that 32 gig SD card. And I had approximately, I think it was 550 pictures and videos, so half were pictures, half were videos, and that's all I got. That used up the full 32 gig card. And I didn't get a lot of deer on the camera. It was just that one little buck. Had a lot of birds though, a lot of birds. So, you know, maybe I need to look into adjusting the sensitivity, making it the trigger a little bit less sensitive. So maybe I don't get so many pictures of birds. But also for you, I don't necessarily recommend running it on 4K video unless you just really want it. You could use one of those lower quality formats and the videos are going to be plenty good enough, and you're going to make that memory go so much further. Speaking of video, I was pretty impressed with the audio as well. It seemed pretty clear. It wasn't real choppy. A lot of times, a lot of cameras, like the audio kind of comes and goes and peaks or whatever, but it seemed pretty consistent. So that's great. Overall, I think it's a good camera. I think y'all should check it out. Guys, like always, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the support. The channel's been growing pretty good. I've got quite a bit of deer hunting content from this season, but it's just been, I've been too busy with hunting to keep up with the editing. So what I'm gonna do is I've started editing a lot of that content, and I'm just gonna save it and post it sometime this summer, you know, over a month or two. So if you're into that, make sure you subscribe and stick around, and there'll be some deer hunting content coming. Hopefully I can do some more of these reviews and things like that. Turkey season's around the corner. I'm gonna be starting to fish here at some point, I hope. Maybe some camping videos, and like always, more product reviews. If you ain't subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. But like always, guys, I hope y'all have had a blessed day. Hope you have a blessed week. And remember, take the roads less traveled.